Greetings, friends of YouTube. Welcome to Lone Star Retirees Corner's Non-Emergency Medical Transportation User's Guide. Let us begin. Non-emergency medical transportation. Not authorized by any of the benefactors or government agencies involved. As this is a senior-oriented channel, some of my comments will be specific to Medicare-related information. Other than that, my advice is for everyone. Due to the amount of information presented here, this must be a two-part guide. What is NEMT? Non-emergency medical transportation is a system that gets people to and from their healthcare providers when they presently do not have the ability to transport themselves. Where does it come from? Federal and state governments regulate and set expectations. State agencies through Medicaid and insurance companies develop and administer the plans. The administrators determine the eligibility of the individual members and submit their personally identifiable information to the NEMT industry. NEMT industry? From taking a request to locating an independent contractor to make the pickup and drop-off and billing the benefactor for the service. It is one of the fastest growing industries in the United States. Thousands of trips across the country daily. The plans. If you are eligible for NEMT, your benefactor will have submitted your name, account ID number, date of birth, billing address, and phone number into the reservations database. Because this is personally identifiable information, it is protected. To access your account yourself or have someone else on your behalf, the information given must exactly match what is on your record. Otherwise, your reservation will not be taken. Limits. What you need to know. Be aware that plans have limits on the number of trips, distance to be traveled, and if they cross state lines. Members may have access to more than one account. At times, this is a method to continue treatment when the main plan administrators determine the need for it. These plans are typically limited in covered services. There are also limits as to how far out you can book trips per plan. Coverage. Coverage of trip purposes the plans provide may have variations per the administrators. For example, pharmacy trips can be not allowed, must be included in following a visit to a qualified healthcare provider, or stand alone. A plan may also have non-medical trips also, grocery stores, gyms, places of worship, to mention a few. These social trips may come with specific limits as to the number of trips per month or year. Advanced notice. Plans have varying requirements for transportation to be procured for routine trips. This can be confusing. Notice required is measured two ways by the plans: hours and business days. For hours requirement, a routine reservation must not be scheduled before plan required 24, 48, or 72 hours into the future. Example, Monday through Thursday at noon with a 24-hour notice requirement. The earliest the reservation can be scheduled is later than noon of the next day. On Friday, 24 hours will have passed by Monday. The reservation can be for any time on that Monday or later. Number of days notice is based on business days. The reservation lines are closed on weekends and the holidays recognized by the plan administrators. The closed days do not count toward notice requirements. Days notice is also by plan. The number of days notice is 2 to 5 business days before the date can be chosen for a reservation. The day of the call is the first business day. Call centers are not the only option if your plan is supported by MotiveCare. There is an app for Android and iOS devices. For web-based bookings, use mymotivecare.com. Both provide reservation access when the call centers are closed. Advance notice requirements still apply. Exceptions will be covered in Part 2. The reservation. Once verified, be prepared to provide the member's pickup details. The date of the trip. The reason for the trip. Who is making the reservation. The best contact number for the caller. How the member will get to the vehicle. The complete pickup address including any building, apartment, or lot number information. City, state, and zip code. And the best number to reach the member at for this trip, and if it is a cell phone that can receive text. Any instructions for the driver that is picking up the member, such as call or text on arrival. How the member gets to and from the vehicle. Walks on their own, with or without a cane, crutches, or a walker. The type of wheelchair they use, what it weighs, and their height and weight. If they need the transportation to provide oxygen or a stretcher. This information determines the type of transportation to be provided. The drop-off. The name of the facility you will be going to. The street address, zip code, and any building information. The telephone number is required. The time of your drop-off. If your healthcare provider has a paperwork period, don't forget to include it when you set the time for your arrival. The representative will tell you the calculated distance and the estimated time you will be picked up. If you think you need to have this time changed, do not hesitate to ask. Will you have an escort? Plans have various requirements for someone accompanying you on a trip. The most common is that they are an adult. Children will be covered in the next episode. When asked about your return trip, you may add a side trip if you need to. If you need to go to a second location for a covered service, you may add it here. You may set a dedicated time to be picked up after your appointment, or you will call when you are ready to continue or return home. The time between notification and arrival of the transportation can be set by the plan or set by the state and usually ranges from 30 to 90 minutes. Listen closely to the recapping of information. Correct any errors. It is better to fix the reservation now than to recover from the issues later. The reference number can speed access to your trip information if you need to make changes to the trip before you take it, and when activating will call. Thank you for staying with me this far. there is more information to pass on. The next episode will address the items that have been mentioned and more. Please return for Part 2. Part 3 will be dedicated to answering any questions from the viewers. Thank you for your kind attention. I would like to take a moment to thank our siblings, past, present, and future, that defend the Republic, and those that serve the public. Thank each and every one of you. If you found value in this video, please like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell if you want to know when the next video is published. Please leave your questions and comments below. Y'all come back now, you hear?